So this is now, we're working with the back piece, and we've eliminated the facing and added a seam allowance. So that's already been added. Now what I've got here is a cut one on fold, and I've also got a grain line here. Now don't confuse yourself with two of these. That's not going to work out. I'm going to do mine on a center back, and I'm going to eliminate this grain line here. I'm going to add a seam allowance. This is just along my center back. Center back. And it looks like I'm going to need to add a little bit of paper because my paper gets run off the edge there. So I'm going to take a little piece from here. Tape it on over here so I can continue that line. Now what I'm using is my ruler, and I've got this lined up just to the right of my center back line. That way it's an exact 5/8 when I'm sewing. And there's my center back. I'm going to extend that because I want to put a zipper back here. All right, so I'm going to change this neckline now. Get my curved ruler, and I'm matching it up to this point here because that's where my seams actually meet. And I'm going to make a little bit of a scoop back here. It can be any shape that appeals to you, but this dress is a little bit wide neck, so it could be kind of a boat neck if I make it just a bit of a scoop right here up to that point. Make sure it's flat across my seam line. Add my seam allowance. Fill in my dots. This is not cut one on fold either. I need a actual grain line that matches up with my center back. This is now my new grain. And my new back piece is ready to go. Don't forget to create a facing here. Let me show you how to do that actually. So just take a little paper, and I always turn mine over because your facing is always, or your pattern is always made for the right side of the body. And the right side up is always the right side of your fabric. So here I'm going to put that in there like that. Facings should always be at least 3 inches long. If you don't make them 3 inches, they're going to be too narrow. You're not going to have any room to turn out under, and they'll start to flip up on you. So narrow facings are never a good idea. And once you're beyond the opening, like over here, I can shape that however I like. So I'm going to use my curved ruler, and I'm going to kind of curve it over to this side. Turn it over here. Let my curved ruler help me draw this line here. Add my grain that's parallel to center back. and mark this as center back. And then I'm going to call it my facing. Cut 2. Cut 2 of interfacing. And I'm ready to go. If I want to, I can add notches. Say I want a notch here because I don't want to get it mixed up with my front. Maybe my front looks the same. So I'm going to make sure that those two match. The notches are going to match up exactly, on one on top of the other. And there I go. I've got my back piece, I've got my facing, and I'm ready to go.